This is Bev Cummins. I am reading some more of my rhyme poems, and I start today with a happy hummingbird. And there's a happy hummingbird. And that's actually a friend of mine who takes a lot of pictures that she lets me use. And she's holding her hummingbird feeder. It's called the Humfee. And she sells it online. The happy hummingbird. The hummingbird can flitter and fly by. You barely see their wings from any sky. All of a sudden you're able to clearly see a beautiful sight of colors moving free. This bird with wings moving so fast that they float and fly like a hovercraft. Gets sugar from flowers because its tongue is long. Its wings flap so fast that it's humming a song. Happily perching and sipping, it's really neat finding food they need that's available to eat. So we can help them with feeders that we buy, so when it's time to eat again, near us they will fly. And that's the happy hummingbird. And doesn't he look happy? Or she? The next rhyme poem is The Bawling Blue Jay. And blue jays are very prevalent here in my yard. I always have blue jays, and this year I have babies. The bawling blue jay. It wants to sound loud like a big red hawk. So this blue, black, and white bird is making a squawk. Usually in groups and taking good care. And you will always find more than one of them there, eating acorns or peanuts that you see on the edge of a forest or up in a tree. It sometimes can be aggressive to protect its young or food. It sometimes seems to be in a very bad mood. It has many calls and flies down from the skies, hops on the ground, and picks up food and flies. This omnivore also eats insects as meat. Feed them peanuts and watch them eat. My husband feeds the blue jays all the time. And now that we have babies, we have a big group to feed. So this is the bawling blue jay. And it kind of sounds like it's bawling you out. You know, like yelling at you. The next rhyme poem is The Call of the Cardinal. And cardinals are beautiful in the winter and in any other time of year, but in the winter they stick out in the snow. The Call of the Cardinal. The red cardinal calls and is seen in every season. A hardy bird that is around all year for a reason. So colorful with an extra strong beak to crack its food. It can eat the toughest of seeds to feed its brood. This cardinal is an omnivore that eats insects and plants. It has a crest of feathers on its head that is not scant. And that means it's not a little bit. There's a lot. You are seeing one of these birds in most tree-filled places or in your backyards where it can make nesting spaces. Both male and female cardinals sing sweet cardinal songs. Eggs are laid and hatched. Babies are taught to get along. So this bird that doesn't migrate will be there in all kinds of weather. So spend time watching this bird. It's a good way to spend time together. And that's the call of the cardinal. And cardinals are beautiful. The next rhyme poem is the work of the woodpecker. And the woodpecker's a busy little bird. And you can see him pecking the tree right there. You can always buy a diligent woodpecker in a tree because it's heard before it's seen. It's fascinating. Black, white, gray, and red are the feathers all can see, but the sound of the fast tapping is the key. Some can make a hole in the roof of any home. They can be seen in all places you can roam. Their long beaks are unique, sharp and pointed. They have their long beaks to get themselves fed. Also use them to make a place to build a nest. At making noisy tapping, they are the very best. In winter, some people feed them what they need. They can live 14 years on what this omnivore feeds. And that's just an estimate that I got off the internet. I mean, these are all like verified facts from the internet. Many places on the internet. And that's the woodpecker. And they're fun to listen to and see. But they can be pesky. The durability of a duck. And everybody gets to see ducks in books or, in person. The durability of a duck. The durable duck is a hardy waterfowl. It does not come out at night like an owl. Webbed feet are what they have to help them to swim. They are not seen in trees or on a limb. They molt or lose feathers at least one time a year. A fox is one predator that they fear. Ducklings are taught water skills, then fly. They land in the water from up in the sky. We like to feed ducklings bread and more. The duck can eat plants, insects, and are omnivores. Of course, their quack is their call or sound. You can always tell when there's a duck around. And that's the durability of the duck. And that's a brown duck. The next rhyme poem is the Savvy Seagull. And those are things that you see more by the ocean. But you see them other places too. The seagull flies over sky, sea, and keeps a graceful knowledge of the oceans that are deep. These are smart birds, and they know how to do unusual things that you wouldn't ask a bird to. They are vocal and have a rubbery hooked beak. These omnivores feed and land on webbed feet. Flying over fresh or salt water, up they gracefully fly, to heights and to depths, up and down in the sky, with a wingspan that's wider than it looks on land. Near the ocean, to see them soaring is always grand. And there's a savvy seagull. And these are savvy, like smart little birds that aren't little. The next rhyme poem is The Soaring Eagle, and that's an eagle. And if there's a baby in there, it's an egret. Yeah, there's a baby in there. The soaring eagle glides through the sky. You are lucky to see one flying by. Because there aren't many of them, you have to protect and let them grow. So they are free to fly and soar in the sky. They represent what is best when they are free to live in their nest. The United States makes them a symbol of freedom and liberty, and they swoop down from their perch. With sharp eyes, they can search. They prey on small animals and grab it. They feed their little ones. They call egrets. And that's the soaring eagle. The next rhyme poem is The Cerebral Crow. And crows are black crows, that's there, are smart little birds. They can use tools and really smart. The crow is far smarter than anyone would think. It makes different calls for different things. It can make and use tools to help them survive. This omnivore is clever and adept at staying alive. It nests and lives up there high in tall trees. It can harass and annoy anything that it sees. Almost anywhere you live, you will find a crow scavenging for food on the ground that's below. They stay in groups, whatever life brings, have good hearing and eyesight, and rounded wings. I used to watch Jekyll and Hyde, who were cartoon wisecracking birds. They show how crafty crows are by speaking words. Crows are really smart little birds. And in groups, they can be horribly pesky. But you see that big open mouth. The next rhyme poem is The Pastoral Partridge. And pastoral means it's like out in like green pastures or in a wooded setting. We have some birds that are better off not making a sound. They can and will fly, but even lay their eggs on the ground. They live as game birds that some people may choose to pursue. This omnivore is hunted, activity that is not new. We hear about one sitting in a pear tree at Christmas time. It's a Christmas song, and now is in my bird rhymes. It's a bird that was originally seen in European lands. It was brought to North America to live in meadowlands. It has a strong bill and gets insects and grasses to feed its young. It makes calls to another rather than having a song that's sung. It's a small bird with short legs and can run very fast. It raises the young it has to avoid predators to the last. And there's the pastoral partridge. And, partridge in a pear tree is from the song 12 Days of Christmas. It may not be the exact same thing, but they're called the same thing. The Winning Wren is the next rhyme poem. And there's a wren. And they're like, I think of them as a common bird. Like a brown bird that's around and it's little and it's flying. And you see more of them than you see of other birds sometimes. The wren is a bird that has a winning song it repeats. So this noisy little bird is one that you will want to meet. You may see this brown bird nesting in boxes or bowls. Maybe. Just about anything it feels safe enough to care for its babies. It can nest 2 times a year and hatch eggs in its nesting season. Looking for food, we see and hear the reason. It does not use the same nest, but makes a new nest. It must be for the family what is the best. The little brown wren is fitting and flying around. There are many small brown wrens that are full of sound. You can put out a birdhouse or feed them bird food, listen to the birds singing, and it can put you in a happy mood. And although there are, a lot of them around, they just make you happy when you hear them. This is the right red robin. The early bird that is after the worm is a robin in the yard. To watch a robin feed itself and its family is not that hard. More than once I have seen a robin family in their nest. Watching the blue eggs crack and open is just the best. A robin with an orange breast is a bigger bird of the thrush family. In spring I can find red robins up in a tree. A singing bird, you will often hear it before you see its kind. The beautiful tones are happy, high, and not hard to find. The female robin builds their nest from the inside out. They use mud, worm castings, that's poop, and sticks that are about. The nest is lined with soft grass and is in the shape of a cup. You can look but not touch the nest, but continue to look up, and you'll see a robin. And there's, oops, that was the wren, sorry. And there's the robin. The next rhyme poem is The Peahen and the Peacock. And those are the birds spread their feathers. They have beautiful feathers when they spread them. The most colorful display of feathers is on a peacock on any day. He is the male bird wooing a peahen in a ritual display. This bird is native to India and other places, but it is found in any zoo. The blue, green, and black patterns are seen on his feathers, too. A peacock's feathers can measure out to 5 feet. He struts around looking as proud as he can be. Are omnivores and eat berries and insects and whatever they are fed. They are not picky about what they eat before they go to bed. They have a call that they make out loud that you can hear. They molt their feathers whenever August is near. They can be used to make decorations that are pretty. You can buy peacock feathers in just about any city. And they drop feathers and grow other feathers. So that's the peacock and peahen. The next rhyme poem is the lovely lovebirds. And this is some birds that I someday want to own. The lovely lovebirds. A pair of birds that I have always been drawn to own are the lovebirds found in pairs in every pet store I've known. They come from Africa or Madagascar, originally I hear. Are active, verbal little parrots that I'd like to have near here. Buying a pair and getting them and putting them together is right. They tend to get along this way. Have fun and not fight. They will mimic sounds and tones, but may not learn words. Still, it would be wonderful to take care of a pair of these birds. They live 15 years and sometimes much longer, too. To raise them, you can see them in a store or a zoo. These are some of the smallest parrots that we find. They need food and water and safety all of the time. And they're beautiful little birds. They're like little parrots. We had the big parrot on the front of the book, and this is little parrots, and they pair up. We buy a set of lovebirds. The present of the peregrine falcon. We have falcons nesting here in Pittsburgh in buildings that are protected and have cameras on them. The peregrine falcon is a raptor, and that is a bird of prey. It has excellent speed, sight, and hearing on any day. It can be seen in a catch and grab, midair or on the ground. A carnivore, it catches small bats and birds, it has found. It has a strong beak and talons that are sharp and long. They are protected so the species, again, becomes strong. But adults have a nest in which they lay a clutch of eggs. But sometimes now do that on a city building ledge. In Pittsburgh, PA, we have a camera where it's nesting. We have the National Aviary, who takes fledglings and bands them on their legs to follow them after they hatch. There are many falcon cams in the world to watch. Living all over the world and among the fastest flyers, these birds fly great distances without seeming to tire. And watching birds on camera is a lot of fun. I'm a member of Emma's Nest, which watches Emma the beautiful hummingbird. The next rhyme poem is The Kiss of the Kookaburra. And the kookaburra is a little black bird that makes a kookaburra song. The kiss of the kookaburra is its happy song. It sits in a gum tree in Australia all day long. This carnivore eats insects, earthworms, and reptiles. This bird tends to make a lot of people smile. Its call is like someone laughing that you will hear. The noisy sound comes from a large bird. There, it is really from the kingfisher family of birds. It is not busy saying any other kind of words. People write songs about his laughing sound, too. If you aren't near Australia, you can see it in a zoo. We have a kookaburra in the aviary, in the National Aviary here, and it is funny to hear the sound. And the last rhyme poem is another bird we have in the National Aviary. And it's the rowdy rainbow lorikeet. And this is another Australian bird for my Australian friends. A bird that is often seen in Australia is a rainbow lorikeet. It's brightly feathered in primary colors of red, blue, and green. This omnivore has a brushed-tipped tongue and can get pollens and nectar, and that makes it sound like a hummingbird. It sucks up and eats sorghum, fruits, besides being a collector. A lorikeet is a tiny version of what a bigger parrot brings, but it's smaller and is the prey of raptors like falcons. It likes forest, woodland, and mangrove swamp land. It is a bird that, when tame, you can even feed by hand. They also are in other places kept as talking pets. They are active and fun and won't let you forget that they like to play and need lots of attention. It can live 20 years or more, and that is worth a mention. And that's the rainbow lorikeet. that is native to Australia. We've come to the end of the rhyme poem book, and this is my book. It's Skybird Rhymes or Learning Times, and there's a big parrot on it. And I am Bev Cummins, and I will be reading another book as soon as I can. I'm trying to read 2 a week.